Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was the biggest game of rugby since the Rugby World Cup final. World number one versus world number two, which has never ever happened before in the Six Nations. And it lived up to the billing. Absolutely epic. I appreciate this is, I'm trying to get this out as soon as I can after the full-time whistle. So I know if you've been working trying to avoid the score and you don't want to know, this is your spoiler alert because this is the score in 3, 2, congratulations Ireland. Absolutely immense. Can you please just in the comments, particularly if you're Irish, but just if French as well, if you have any skin in the game, can you just describe your feelings right now? Because I was so envious watching this game. I don't think I've had a reason to feel that tense, that anxious, or that elated in the case of Irish fans since the 2019 World Cup semi-final. I know how tense and anxious I felt then. And it was just a privilege to watch. It's just a shame I'm not Irish to be able to go and get on it this evening in celebration. So, congratulations. So many French fans in Dublin as well. The atmosphere looked amazing and really added to the spectacle. Just an immense effort. Peter O'Mahony's face during the national anthems, that's the first thing I want to say. Did you see his face? At that point, I thought, we got a game here. We got a game here. But for Ireland to win in the way they won, to deny France a losing bonus point and win, I wouldn't say comfortably, but convincingly, that is a massive statement. Oh, light's just gone off, never mind. That is a massive statement for potential world champions. And I think Ireland, there's no doubt, if there was any doubt, they've just put it to bed. They are 100% World Cup contenders. And it's important to point out that they are in the same half of the draw as New Zealand, as South Africa, and as France. And South Africa and New Zealand, they would have been watching that game today thinking, don't fancy playing Ireland. And there's all the jokes about Ireland only making a World Cup quarter-final in every other tournament before now. They are doing everything within their power to maybe make this their year. And I know Ireland fans will stay cynical because they don't want to tempt fate, but it was the maturity that I found so impressive. Like, there's a lot of talk about the experienced players. Furlong, who wasn't there, obviously. Sexton, who went off after just over 50 minutes. It is the young guys that are stepping up and approaching world-class status in the case of Caelan Doris, who is immense. Hugo Keenan, who just never puts a foot wrong. Backup guys coming in and playing a massive role. Finlay Bealham, who knew he had hands like that for the first try. And the bench made a big impact. Ross Byrne, just tactically on the money in that last half an hour. And France, they showed their class. They've had 14 straight wins. That has ended. They have a winning mentality, but it was not enough today. What moments can I talk about? Dupont holding up, was it Mac Hansen? Just the guy is a freak. That game would have been worthy of a World Cup final. And the phrase goes, steel sharpens steel. France will be disappointed to lose. They will get a lot out of that match. Both teams will get a lot out of that game. And I think it's, for France particularly, to be able to face South Africa in Marseille, wasn't it, in the autumn, and sneak through a win, and then to play Ireland in Ireland, they'll get better as a result of that. For Ireland, it should be raising the confidence to whole new levels. And I mentioned Caelan Doris and Hugo Keenan. I'm going to add Gary Ringrose in that as well. Hugo Keenan firstly. So I did a video before the tournament. Go and have a look at it. It was my predictions for who might win the Player of the Tournament accolade. And Caelan Doris was one of those names. And Gary Ringrose was one of those names. Both of those players are maybe Ireland's best two players right now, along with Hugo Keenan, who I thought is great. He's blowing me away. Never, ever makes a mistake. Defensively, he seems to be in the right position to field those kicks. His 50-22 was a massive moment in the game and just another one of those little momentum shifters. His break, just tracking and timing his run for that first try. The guy is... We're living in a Hugo Keenan world at the minute. The guy can do no wrong. And Caelan Doris... before the tournament, I'm not just saying this now. I said he was my favourite player in world rugby, and I think the fact that Gregory Aldrit, who was last year's player of the tournament, went off after 51 minutes, and just looked bereft. And Caelan Doris was on there dominating. I think there was a statement, best number 8 in the Northern Hemisphere, Caelan Doris. Him or Ardi Surveyor, maybe best number 8 in the world. I'd say Doris at the minute, but so let's go through the game then. Thomas Ramos, as you can see, got France ahead with a penalty early. What I found impressive was Ireland's instant reaction to that penalty, and then their instant reaction to missing the opportunity to score a try after 7 or 8 minutes, because they had a goal line dropout, fielded it, and Hugo Keenan goes and scores. When they smell blood, Ireland go for it. And I've mentioned Finlay Beelam's handling already. Who knew he had that in his locker? Ramos got another penalty, and then that James Lowe try. Wow. And I've just got to say, Wayne Barnes, I thought, was fantastic as a referee. He facilitated a brilliant game of rugby. And when he needed to make decisions, I actually like the decisions that he made. I like that he gave the James Lowe try, even though, as was discussed at half-time, in the broadcast that I watched at least, there was another camera angle that showed that maybe his toe did touch the ground, a blade of grass in touch. So France might feel unhappy about that. However, we all know about the French TV directors on their home broadcast, don't we? So, you know, swings and roundabouts. What goes around comes around. And also, I'll say that, you know, if Ireland got a break there, mate, you could argue they did, then France maybe got a break with Winnie Antonio getting a yellow, not a red card. Given the result, I'm delighted that Wayne Barnes went with that. It would have been cause for argument if France had gone on and won, but I actually don't mind that decision whatsoever. One decision each, if you like. And then Andrew Porter scored that try. Just intense amount of pressure. And again, Caelan Doris, Josh van der Fleer, the pressure they were putting on France's breakdown. I mean, frightening, absolutely frightening. And that kind of pressure on France's own ball is what led to the, and then just squeezing it when they did have the ball, the Andrew Porter try. That tackle on Antoine Dupont on 37 minutes could have been a massive moment in the game, denying Ireland a score and keeping France in touching distance. They went in 6 points ahead at the break, 22-16. To keep France to only 3 points in the second half and play with such maturity, tactically kicking, that's the bit that impressed me most. The 3 tries in the first half were brilliant. Some of them were amazing scores, but it was how streetwise Ireland were in that second half. That is the sort of performance, that second half performance by Ireland is the sort of performance that gets you through games when you're not playing your best. And when it is tight and could go either way on a knife edge, it's the kind of factor that takes a W in your favour. And when it comes to winning 7 games in a row to win a World Cup, is it 7 games? I think it's 7 games to win a World Cup. That is what you're going to need. And that is what impressed me so much about Ireland. They have got a cohesion. You can see that in the way they run their strike moves. Everyone's just hitting the ball full pace, knows what everyone else is doing. But it was, like I say, that maturity to manage the game when they're in winning positions, which is what great teams do. And I'll just reiterate what I said at the start, that there's a lot made of the players that we know are experienced. Tyg Furlong, who wasn't there. Johnny Sexton, who, you know, there's jokes made about you need to wrap him in cotton wool between now and the World Cup. Ireland have got new superstars that are really stepping up. And they've got guys coming in who aren't normal starters, who are performing. And they've got guys coming off the bench who are delivering. And France were not bad. Ireland were immense, and absolutely loved watching that game. That is what an advert for rugby. I just hope there was lots of people watching it, because that's what the Six Nations is all about. It's what rugby's all about. And to be honest, I wish I was at the Temple Bar in Dublin right now. Leave your comments. Please do hit subscribe. Really appreciate this. There's been a lot of new subscribers in this last week, and I'm chuffed to bits about it. So if you love your rugby as well, hit subscribe, because there's plenty more Six Nations content coming. Enjoy the next game, Scotland-Wales. It's a big one.